the proper way here. Everything's loading up. It's saying we're going live. I don't know if we're live on Instagram yet. I think it's like on a 15 to 20 second delay. So I don't think anyone's going to be seeing this here for a couple of, at least a minute or so. But that's fine. I can talk to myself for that period of time. Okay, cool. We've got the Instagram stream up, which seems to be where everybody's coming from. Oh, let's mute my phone there. We don't need that. Hey there. See people are popping into the stream. I am very happy to see people popping in. I do have access to my TikTok comments, it looks like. I'm streaming on what I believe to be 4 platforms right now. My mom's cooking lately. Okay, that's stopping you from weight loss progress. Okay. Explain that a little bit. Emotional eating is slowing you down. You like food. Do you really like food? Are you here because you like food or because you don't like what food is doing to you? A lot of you don't like food as much as you think you do. If you liked emotional eating, if emotional eating was something that you really truly enjoyed doing, it wouldn't be that, you wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a job right now. I wouldn't have 250,000 followers on Instagram, 100,000 on TikTok. I would not have a career if you guys enjoyed doing this. Don't add me into this again. Okay, then you don't have to be here. Actually, you had to join me. Emotional eating. We've got a lot of people talking about emotional eating. Tell me, what does emotional eating do for you? Because you've all identified that emotional eating is a problem. What is emotional eating serving for you? And there is a reason for it. It does serve a purpose. You're not just doing it because you're dumb. What does emotional eating do for you? I messed up about a month ago after losing a bunch of weight over 5 months. I decided to speed it up with a 2-day fast before weigh-in, messed up my psychology and how my body felt for a while. So okay, so I've been found on YouTube. Fantastic. You are my first YouTube viewer, I believe. Let's click on multi-stream here and see if I can see all of the comments. That would be quite wonderful. Okay, distraction. So the answers for why we emotionally eat. Not feeling full after eating and not liking protein that much. Okay, well, you got to get some protein in there. You don't strength train, rather just stay active and do a calorie deficit. That's fine. You don't really have to move. I would love it if you did, but you really don't truly have to. I mean, people lose weight in hospital beds. Satisfies a craving and feels good. I'm also a chef, so I can make anything. Okay. If you are here right now, does it really, truly feel that good? Numbs the bad feeling. With what? With another bad feeling. With a feeling that you're looking to replace with something else. What's better about YouTube is I can go to other apps on my iPhone and still listen to the stream. Oh, okay. So you're sending a comment here from the future. By the way, if you're not following me on Instagram or Twitch, which are the cool kid platforms, you should be over there. You can do your other streaming. You can play some games in the background while you listen to me. It's a whole lot better over there. I used to be 300 pounds, and I must tell you, everything you say is really relatable, so I must say thanks for speaking about it. Well, it's only relatable because I was damn near there. You know, this isn't coming from nowhere. This is all coming from hard-earned experience. And I know that a lot of you are in the same position. I get into my head about how difficult it's going to be, and then I binge. I lost some 30 pounds, but right now I still feel like I've hit a brick wall. So first off, congratulations on losing 30 pounds. That's absolutely incredible. All of you right now who are coming to me with 67 pounds down, 15 more to go, been in a pretty intense deficit, plus waiting cardio. What's the necessity for the intensity? What is the intensity serving to you? As I get closer, should I start increasing closer to maintenance so that coming up doesn't result in gain? I would start now. I would start right now. Why are you waiting? Whatever you, in my podcast episode today, Mike Needs a Plan, it's available everywhere. I talked about things that you don't want to hear about self-improvement. And one of those things was anything you want to be true at the end of the journey needs to be true now. So this goes out to my carb counters and my sugar avoiders, all those kinds of people. Are you somebody who avoids carbs and sugar because you still think that that's making you gain weight? And have you told yourself that at a certain point you are going to reintroduce that into your life again? That at a certain point I'm going to have ice cream again. Once I lose all the weight, then I'll have the ice cream. Once I lose weight, then it's all going to be good. Then I'll allow myself to have these things. Do you think you're going to have a better sense of restraint if you don't practice? Do you think you're going to get stronger at the gym without picking up a dumbbell, just looking at them, or saying, I will pick up the dumbbells when I get stronger"? What do you mean? What do you mean you're going to pick up the dumbbells when you get stronger? The dumbbells are there to help you get strong. Ice cream just happens to be a really tasty dumbbell. At least in my opinion, anyway. There was a lot of times on my journey where I was avoiding these foods because I, too, like a lot of you, was still under the false assumption that they make us gain weight. And that's not your fault. You didn't come up with that. That was placed into you. That was implanted by incredibly powerful propaganda by some really awful people. You'll never be able to understand how much you mean to me. Oh, my goodness. But I found you after losing 100 pounds. I still felt fat, and I still carry the same burdens. You changed that. Thank you. Well, let me tell you this, Gabe. I don't know if you've heard of Chris Terrell before, but the same thing happened to me 2 years ago. I had already lost all of the weight, plus some. And I, for the first time ever, heard a guy talking about the mindset part of it, what was going on in the head. And it meant everything to me. So I'm honored to be here with you on your journey. Thank you for taking me with you. I know it's hard to let somebody in. No, I strictly focus on caloric intake and protein. I still eat stupid sometimes, but I stay in the range due to shame. Okay, how long is that going to last? Do you see that lasting forever? Is shame going to keep you going? Or are you eventually going to get tired of doing something for somebody you hate? I'm unsure how to determine maintenance and deficit calories and what to eat to fill up and still be in the calorie range. So what to eat to be in your calorie range and be full is get your fiber up, get your protein up, and that does not mean just eat protein. You need carbs for your brain and carbs for your muscles, and you need a lot more of them than you think. But aside from that, that's going to be up to the individual to decide what constitutes your satiety. Other than that, how you're going to determine the amount of calories you want, you're going to go to the total daily. Everyone, write a note down somewhere. Grab a pen. This is how you're going to figure out how many calories you need to sustain yourself, and then either go up or down to gain weight slowly or lose weight slowly. The total daily energy expenditure calculator on calculator.net. You put in your height, your weight, your gender at birth, your amount of activity roundabout, and it's going to give you a number that is somewhat close to the amount of calories that you are going to need to maintain exactly where you are. To not go up, to not go down, to stay exactly where you are. Now, it's going to give you a couple of options. There's one where it says a half pound a week, one where it says 1 pound a week, and one where it says 2 pounds a week. The 2 pound a week option, if you choose that one, that's the quickest way to gain a whole bunch of weight back really quickly because it basically starves you out. I would suggest starting in the half pound range because a lot of you right now are way above maintenance. When you're going into a calorie deficit, when you hear, I have to go into a 300 to 500 calorie deficit, that doesn't seem like a lot. Most of you are eating way above your maintenance at the moment. You're not going into a 300 to 500 calorie deficit. You're going into it, in my case, at 265 pounds, when I was easily clearing 10 to 12,000 calories in a day, I'm going into like a 7 to 8,000 calorie deficit, more than that. 9,000 calories. Suddenly, a whole volume of food that I used to have is gone. It's not just 300 to 500 calories under maintenance. It is potentially thousands that you're going down. So it might feel like a little bit. And in the grand scope of things, if you were actually at maintenance, yes, it maybe wouldn't feel like all that much, but that's kind of what you want. You don't want it to feel like that much. Hey, I'm new. Could you direct me towards good sources to lose weight in a healthy way? Well, number one, hi. My name is Mike. I lost 110 pounds, but I'm most proud of keeping the weight off, and together we're going to do the same thing. How do we do the same thing? We got to do different things, and the different thing is going slowly. Did I track calories? If so, how do you stop? I'm fearful of stopping and gaining weight back. This actually, Zach the brother, this plays into lights goes down comment here. So, first off, lights go down. I would like to ask, what ways have you tried before? Are you new on this journey? Are you brand new and just trying to learn how to do this? Or have you been doing it in unhealthy ways and now you're trying to figure out how to do it in a healthy way? But did I track calories? If so, how did you stop? I'm fearful of stopping and gaining the weight back. The way that I stopped tracking my calories was I used the food scale as a measure of satiety, not a measure of calories. So yes, while I was looking into my calories, I was paying attention to what is it that's going to make me feel full. How much food makes me feel full? When I started measuring my protein and I started getting my fiber in check, it all tended to fall into place. But I was using the food scale not just to measure the amount of calories I was eating and keep me accountable. I was using the food scale to teach myself what it took for me to be full, truly. And it was small little adjustments all at once. And now it's to the point where I've not tracked a calorie in 3 months, 4 months-ish. I still use my food scale, but it's because I know exactly how much food I want to eat at dinner time. And I know exactly how much of each ingredient I want. That's why I use my food scale. I'm not using it to make sure, I got to make sure I'm not eating too much. Like, I got my satiety in check. I got my hunger in check. So now I don't need to track anymore. If you are using the numbers just to make yourself accountable and make sure I'm not being a fat ass tonight, you're going to get the results of someone who's just using the thing as like a security camera, watching them all the time. You're going to feel that, and you're going to be resentful of it, and you're going to stop using it. And what does it matter if you're perfect for a month, if you fall off of it the next month? I want to see you have success long term. And to have success long term, you got to do this long term. Depending on how much you are initially intaking, in my experience, I switched to a small breakfast, small/medium lunch, and larger dinner within reason. My dinner is my largest meal of the day. It's like 700-800 calories, depending on the day. And the rest of the day, I'm usually having smaller meals because it just tends to be the way that I just like to. You can have your meals any size, anytime. I wouldn't do, the larger the meals get, the harder it's going to be to eat enough calories in a day. Everybody crack open your 0-calorie sodas right now if you got them. And if you don't, why don't you have them? They're fantastic. I used to drink 6 cans of the full sugar stuff of this for every night. Every night, 6 cans of it. That's like 900 calories of just empty calories, of just sugar straight. And I gave myself kidney stones bad several times. This stuff, there's no proven danger yet. Now, I say yet because maybe at some point I'm going to be wrong and all the fearmonger zealots will suddenly be correct about their in vitro rat studies. Now, mind you, if you are an in vitro rat in a petri dish, please do not drink aspartame, because if you were to get about, I think, 500 cans worth of aspartame, you do develop precursors that might one day become cancer if you were to continue to do that. So please be careful drinking 500 cans of Diet Coke a day if you are an in vitro rat in a petri dish. I am new on this. A friend recommended me to you recently. Recently, I've just starved myself and it hasn't worked. Of course it hasn't worked. That's not your fault. You didn't do that. You didn't choose that. You were just told, hey, some people come to this on their own. At the very beginning, I wasn't under that impression quite yet. The more I'm listening, the more I'm realizing I just jumped into this blindly. Everybody jumps into this blindly. What's your other option? To not jump in at all? We don't know the things we don't know until we know that we got to know them. I learned everything by learning that I had to know it. But I learned everything. My most effective learning has come from me saying, I don't know. My most effective learning has come from me saying, I don't know what this is. Let me learn about it. And then I learn about it, and I think about it, and then I do it. When I take my one-on-one clients, I do not take anyone day of. I tell them, you got to think about it. You have to take this time, think about it, come back to me in a couple of days. I will send you an email with the offer. You take it, but we don't talk for at least a day or two. You got to think about this. Because I don't want people who are ready. I don't want people who are just ready to take whatever. I want people who are thinking about these decisions. If I wanted people who just wanted to starve themselves or thought that was the right way to do it and were ready to fall off a couple of weeks later, I cram 1,000 of those into my book like so many coaches do, where there's just check-ins on Mondays, which I think is a bullshit business strategy. It doesn't serve you as a human being. It just treats you as a fucking number, and I hate it. So I choose to take on very few clients, and I spend a lot of time with them. It's not great for business. It's not great for money, but it's great for the people that I work with, and it's great for me. I enjoy it a lot. But as you said, you're new on this. A friend recommended me to you recently. Recently, I've just starved myself, and it hasn't worked. So we see. Let me just explain how this happened, because you're not incorrect for this. You saw food as the problem, which, on a baseline level, I guess it is. So your solution to that is, I'm not going to eat anymore. That makes sense. Logically, that makes sense. I'm eating too much, therefore, if I don't eat, the problem's going to go away. Now, obviously, we've got that pesky thing where our bodies need food to survive. We have metabolic processes, and we are biological creatures that need sustenance to survive, and we die if we don't have it. So that falls apart very quickly. Now, you've got two options from there. Number one, you change it up. You say, well, that didn't work. I got to do it again. Or, like me for a lot of years, you say, well, that worked for a little bit. I don't know what happened there at the end. I must have done something wrong. Let me go and starve myself again. And then I go down that process of just starving myself again because I thought food was the enemy. And then eventually I keep doing it wrong, so I start to think, well, fuck, I'm the enemy because I'm doing this wrong. I keep doing this incorrectly every time I administer it. I'm doing something wrong. Therefore, I'm the problem. But that's not entirely true either. It is. I mean, ultimately, I am in charge of all of my mistakes and all of my actions. But yet it's not entirely just me. It's not just me. It's the habits that I've created over a long period of time. It's the shame that was instilled in me by people who had the best of intentions and the worst of intentions. Both of them. There are people, we know the worst of intentions. We know bullies and, people who are just generally awful to us in our lives, but people with the best of intentions too. I have a very loving, very food-friendly Italian family, and you can't get away from the table without them saying, hey, we got to we have a little bit more. Have more. I don't want more. No, have more. You got to have more. You got to go and have more. I don't want to have any more. I'm good. And then eventually I'm going to have more because it's there, because I like food, and because it tastes good. And suddenly I've eaten much more than I intended to eat. Adam's here. There are known knowns and known unknowns. I like that. I was feeling bad about reaching my 1K deficit goal. I've averaged a 466 deficit a day for about 2 months. No, you haven't. Is 2 pounds of fat loss a week really that hard in the body? Yes. I might end up bumping my calories up to slow progress to get a more accurate hold on my calories. Number one, to those of you who are hitting me with an exact decimal point number, no the fuck you're not. Hold on. This requires something else. No the fuck you're not. Not a goddamn chance. Are you eating 466 calories in a deficit? You live in a window. You are an imperfect human being in an imperfect window. And there's nothing you can do about it. Even if there was the optimal amount of calories, you are moving a different amount every day. Even if you were to practice the exact same steps through the house and you were to itch your ass in the same amount of times and you counted your steps and counted your breaths and everything, you are not going to be able to account for every calorie down to the decimal point. It is not going to happen. And if you try, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Absolutely crazy. You move you move exactly the same every day. 466 to the absolute digit. I think you knew I was going to call you out for it. I think you knew. My left ass cheek is the one itched for 4.2 seconds a day. Yeah, see, because that's how you drive yourself insane. I was there for a long time. I looked up the number online. It was like I use 1867 as a example because there was a certain point where I think I looked up like my BMR at my very lowest or something, and I damn near killed myself trying to stay there. Really, really bad time. You cannot exist at a decimal point. You exist in a window, whether that be calories, whether that be weight. I don't know if this will help, but for me, the only thing that helped with not binge eating was starting Prozac. I can't speak on that necessarily. I was on SSRIs, and I ended up gaining a bunch of weight because I was eating more, but I was also on the road. I was doing stand-up comedy at the time, holding a microphone for much different reasons. I was making people laugh, not cry. What do you think about reverse dieting? I think it's a bunch of bullshit. If you are at the point where you are eating way too little calories and you know it, darn, well, I got to go now. Try asking another time. Oh, I missed your comment. I'm sorry. I get a whole lot of comments, all one after the other, so I didn't get to see it. But yeah, reverse dieting, don't do it. So what Zach is talking about is the idea that, say that someone is eating 1,000 calories a day and their metabolic rate has lowered just a little bit to accommodate. It's not going to lower to be, I operate on 1,000 calories a day now. A starvation mode is a myth. But that being said, your metabolic rate is going to adapt a little bit because our bodies are really good at surviving. Not thriving necessarily, but surviving. So the amount of energy that we need, and therefore the amount of energy we expend and the amount of energy we feel, is going to go down. So the idea is, if we were to suddenly eat more calories, we're going to suddenly put on more weight. That is inevitable. No matter what. You're going to put on more weight because you probably need to. I was at a certain point where I definitely needed to put more weight on. And you might be there, you might not be there, but let me tell you this. You're hurting yourself by being in too much of a deficit. And the best way you can go about fixing that is to not prolong the pain and prolong the damage, but to instead just bump your calories up to where they need to be and deal with a little bit of bloating for a little while, because that's going to happen. You're going to bloat anyway, but why extend it over a period of like 10 weeks or whatever when you could just knock it out in a few? And your body will adapt. Your body will adjust. Your metabolism will raise much more quickly than I think a lot of people would assume it will. So whatever the amount of calories is that you want to get back to, just do it. Just get there. It doesn't matter. Is there anything that helps the prevention of binge eating? Yes, we want to maintain our satiety, number one. So we want to make sure that we're feeling full throughout the day. And what is that going to require? It's going to require getting our fiber intake up. Most Americans, I think statistically 95%, are not getting their recommended amount of daily fiber, soluble or insoluble, and therefore the amount of colon cancer in younger people is rising catastrophically. And that's because we're not doing any kindness to our digestive system. So number one, get your fiber in check. And I promise you, most of you are within this 90% statistic of not getting enough fiber in a day. So what I'm going to want you to do is just track your fiber. Tell me one thing you've eaten today that has fiber. Genuinely, don't look it up. Tell me something that you've had where you have intentionally said, I am consuming fiber right now. All of you are liars. If you tell me you have. It's okay. They don't. We talk a whole hell of a lot about protein here on Instagram. We never talk about fiber. We need fiber. I'll just start there. You already know about everything else. Get your fiber in check first. Get back to me in about a week, and we'll talk again. Tell me I'm the fiber guy. Dates. Baked beans. Okay. Hey, Alicia and Kate both have, and of course from YouTube, which is my cool platform where the cool kids hang out. Which is at Mike Needs a Plan if you want to go over there. Those are great sources of, you are going to be full after eating those. I love dates. Baked beans I'm a little bit less of a fan of, but they're a decent source of protein. I believe beans are a complete protein. They're also a good source of fiber. They're going to keep you full. You ate a pizza. Does it count? It depends on if you ate that Quest pizza that has like a whole bunch of fiber in it. I don't know. You made date energy balls today. You got to DM me that recipe. I'd be interested to hear it. Not enough for YouTube, forever trapped on Twitch. Not cool enough for YouTube. Yeah, you're cool enough for you. I think you were like my first ever viewer on the desktop stream, so you're definitely cool. Should you be losing weight faster? No! Absolutely fucking not. Whatever your rate of weight loss is right now, if you feel like it's too slow, you're probably going too fast. If you have a week where you lose a pound of fat and you can genuinely verify that, and you can verify that you lost a pound of fat, you get your DEXA scan and you can see it was a pound of fat. I lost no lean mass because I wasn't going too fast, so I didn't burn any muscle, and it wasn't just water weight or bloating, nothing like that. Like a pound of fat, that is fucking fantastic. You're not doing that every week. Most people are not doing that every week. Unless, of course, you've got a lot to lose. If you're like just sort of overweight or even just like, obese, a pound a week is a dream. I've worked with a lot of people now. I'm a one-on-one coach. If anyone's interested, that is in my bio. You can find that there and schedule a call with me. I'd love to talk to you. There's no obligation there. We just talk and see if we like each other, because I've turned people down. I turn people down. I don't just take everybody. I'm not like the other coaches where it's just like, hey, I'm going to sign on 500 people, and then on Mondays I spend a half hour doing check-ins. Like, I work with people one-on-one directly. You get my personal phone number. I don't have a team. I don't have money for a team. It is an intensive process where you and I work together intensely for a while, for about 10 weeks at a time, and then we stop. But anyway, let's see here. 1 pound a week is perfect. Yeah, 1 pound a week is fantastic. Smitty's lost 100 himself. You might think that's not good. But think about it. If I could tell you 2 years from now, you're not going to be fat anymore, guaranteed, would you take it? 2 years from now, you're just suddenly not fat anymore. You got to wait 2 years, but I can guarantee you 100% 2 years from now, if you just remain, a little chubbier for the rest of this time, guaranteed, you will not be big anymore. Would you take it, or would you say, no, it's not quick enough, so I'm just going to stay big? I know the answer that a lot of you want to give right now, which is that you'd take it, but you're not taking it because you've got that option right now. You've got the option to take about 2 years to do this. Mike, use your interdimensional platform and tell him I said hi from Twitch. Mid, is that your name in the Discord, Mid? Smitty, Mid says hi from Twitch. I love that all you guys know each other. That's a lot of fun. You're losing 1 pound a week, but I'm 40% muscle and 47% body fat according to my last DEXA scan. Well, that's interesting. Okay, 47% body fat. Okay. Does it matter? Has knowing that number changed anything for you? Does that change your thing? Like, all right, I'm going to get to 46 next week. It doesn't fucking matter. I have absolutely no idea what my body fat percentage is right now. I've never known. I have never had any concept of that whatsoever. Lifting heavy weights, you leg press 300 pounds. Oh, god damn, you're strong. All right, yeah, just keep going. What's the rush? To all of you right now who are rushing your weight loss down, give me a genuine explanation as to why the weight needs to be off now. No, DMing I don't think is a thing on YouTube, but it is on Instagram. I can get my Instagram DMs there, but only if people tell me they sent it. Otherwise, I don't know it's there because I get 100 DMs a day. Let me bookmark this one. It's usually in my requests. Let me see if it's over here. There you are. Okay, I'm going to put that in my general. I'm going to hit that with the green so I know to go back. Cool. Sarah shoots film. Let's see what we got here. What's the name of the app I recommended earlier for the to figure out your maintenance calories? The Total Daily Energy Expenditure Calculator on calculator.net. It's not an app, it's just a website. Spidey. Okay, Smitty says hi back. So let's see here. Problem is I've done it before like half a dozen times over the past decade, and I gain it back immediately. That's because you're good at losing weight. I was good at losing weight too. Who here is good at losing weight? More of you are good at losing weight than you realize. A lot of you are great at losing weight. I was fantastic at it. I did it a whole bunch of times. Because losing weight's easy. Before you say, Mike, no, it's not. No, it's easy. Losing weight is easy. Keeping it off is the trouble. You've not been able to keep it off yet, but you've lost it a bunch of times. I hardly ever talk to a day one. I usually talk to a year one at best, or a decade one. But we're all good at losing weight. It sucks. The Instagram's laggy. Oh, that sucks. Not good. Twitch is usually worse. How is the Twitch stream going right now? Because last night I was having trouble. I don't know if today we're having trouble. Rusty Morgan says, I'm trying to find the balance between being kind to myself and eating what I like and overindulging. Any advice? So, do you like overindulging? I know this seems like an interesting question here. Do you enjoy it? Do you like overindulging? Do you like the feeling of binging? Not while you're eating it, afterward. 100%. You have to like the whole process. Do you like the whole process? TBH, chubby babies are so cute. I don't agree. That's why I got a vasectomy. Oh. Hold on. That's what kills me. We have put in so much time, effort, money, endless days of hating ourselves just to gain it back and have society look at us like we haven't tried a day in our lives. It's as much as I want to believe that people aren't looking at us. The comments on Instagram. Holy fucking shit. I've been doing a lot of replies lately where I'll pick up a video and I'll do a response to it. And I get some really nasty comments in there from people saying, well, maybe they should have just tried a little bit harder. Usually always from somebody without a profile picture. Somebody that would never say it to you in person. So if they're not bold enough to say it to your face, why the fuck does it matter if they're thinking about it? It doesn't matter at all. Twitch stream is shockingly brilliant right now. I didn't change a thing, so I don't know why that is. I have no idea why that is. I forgot what your question was, Sarah. I'm very sorry. Let me go back up here. Instagram just sucks. Oh yeah, all these streaming platforms suck. I'm still working out the kinks on all these. I believe right now I'm streaming to 4 different platforms. I believe I'm streaming to TikTok. By the way, if you're watching here on TikTok, I cannot see the comments over there. So if you are over there, I would love for you to join me somewhere else. You join me on Twitch or YouTube. Don't join me on Instagram. I don't want anybody else joining me on Instagram. It's a dead platform. So if you follow my Twitch at Mike Needs a Plan or YouTube at Mike Needs a Plan, you can get me over there. Hey, bro, I am just here to say I love your content, making it. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is why I never put my weight loss progress on social media. I don't need people telling me I'm overweight. I know. Isn't that great? But it's always people that you are never doing better than you. Never have I. I've been here a year and some change now. And I've gotten like, what, 500 million views or something like that? Something insane across all my videos. I've yet to be criticized by someone who's in better shape than me. And that's a low bar. That's a really low bar. I have not yet been criticized by someone who's doing better than me. It has not happened yet. I'm waiting. I would love for it to happen. But usually when that happens, when I get a note from someone who's doing better than me, they're giving me something that's going to help me. Like when I get approached by somebody at the gym who's in better shape than me. They're like, hey, your form's kind of off. Let me show you how to do it better. And I'm always grateful for it because they always do it very kindly. They are always like, hey, let me show you a different way. And then I'm just like, I do a little shift. Like I remember at the very beginning of my gym going days, I was doing my rope pull downs like that, so I'm over here and I'm like pushing down that way. And the guy tells me, okay, all you have to do is that. Just turn your fist in and down. I'm like, oh, hold on a second. Now I'm feeling it a lot more in my triceps. And like that guy changed my whole perspective on things. He wasn't criticizing me. He just came over to help me. Now, a lot of people on the internet see me and they're like, you're not that muscular. And they're behind a picture of fucking Goku. I'm like, bro, you don't even have a profile picture. And you're going to criticize me on anything? Anything at all. Judge Edward, what's going on, buddy? Mike solved obesity. Everyone is currently losing body fat. Yeah, I finally solved obesity. I'll be sending out the Ozempic shots here shortly. Sarah, at the gym, I used to be a gym rat in college. First at the gym at 5 a.m. when they opened, lifted 2 hours a day, kicked ass. I haven't stepped foot in a gym in over a year because I can't stand the mirrors and the competition with my old self. Why is your old self such a dick? And like I said before, why would you take criticism from somebody you don't like? If you don't like your old self, why does your old criticism matter? Your old self sucks. Fuck your old self for now. Obviously, I would like that narrative to change a little bit, but if right now you feel like you're in competition with your old self is pompous. Be a better self. Don't take any criticism from somebody you wouldn't take advice from. Because if your old self was worth taking advice from, you wouldn't be in competition with them. You'd be getting help from them, but you're not getting help from them right now. I helped a lady at the gym with reducing the height of the lat pull-down bar. She's bigger than me. I stopped to tell her how proud I am of her, that she's showing up. She seemed appreciative. That's awesome. That's fantastic. You could really change somebody's whole day. You could change their whole life that way, really. I like the guys who have walked up to me at the gym and have changed things around like that for me have really changed everything. And I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who has given me advice or given me constructive criticism. I'm not against criticism. I want to take it, but it's just got to be legitimate, or else it doesn't really matter. Went 210ish to 175, spamming hour plus of Stairmaster works, and I'm gaining muscle mass too, but the real setback isn't gym discipline, it's cutting out all the bad habits, porn especially. Okay, I mean, that's a whole different topic altogether, but anything that we're going to be looking at chronically is a problem. Anything that we're going to be doing chronically, whether it be that or food, is something that we need to look into. What is that, sir? First off, also, thank you for saying that, like, out loud. It's a very difficult thing to talk about in a public forum. So, good on you for being open and honest. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of we have to figure out why it's happening. What purpose is it serving? Why are we spending so much time doing that? It's usually a dopamine thing. We want to feel that easy dopamine boost, and it's a quick way to do it. So where are we lacking dopamine elsewhere? Where are we lacking everything elsewhere? I was just telling my friend I learned from a video a thinner person, if they eat something they don't like, they stop after a bite or two, whereas heavier people don't like something and still eat it all. I've been on both sides. I am at the point now where if I don't like something, I'm probably not going to finish it. There are times where I still do. I'm like, you know what? It's good enough. I'm going to finish it. But most of the time, if I'm not really about something, I'm not going to finish it. Oh, no. Oh, but the food waste. You're going to waste on the food. Guess what? Who else was going to eat it? What, was I going to donate it to somebody? Was someone else going to come in and eat my scraps? No. That food was destined for one singular person. It was me. So if I throw it away... Also, let's talk about how rude it is for somebody at a party, as you're leaving, to try to give you food. And force it upon... It's not rude for them to offer it the first time. I don't think. It is rude for them to continue to push it. For them to be like, oh, come on, just take it, because I'm going to throw it out otherwise. And they guilt you into taking it, because I'm going to throw it out. And that's supposed to be a threat? Throw it out. I didn't make you buy this food. You just sent me a text to come to your party. I showed up, and now I have to take out your trash? Or are you going to throw it out? No. Throw it out. Or you have a freezer now. We don't have to wait for the Iceman to come around in a truck anymore. You have a freezer. Put it in there. And if you bought this food without knowing where it was going to go, that's your fault. It's not mine. Really interesting thought, isn't it? How should I navigate the gym as someone who is usually bullied out of the local gym? I live on an island. What? You're being bullied at the gym? What the fuck is that? Tell somebody. Tell someone at the gym. Fucking tag Joey Swole. This is honestly, in a year of doing all this right now, this is the first time I'm hearing about somebody being bullied at the gym. Which is crazy, because you'd think that would be more common, but it's really not. The gym tends to be one of the least toxic places I've ever been. There's a lot of assholes in the world, but no, those Goku profile pictures are psyop by Frieza. Beach on YouTube, which is where the cool kids live. I don't know if I should aim to lose half a pound or a pound a week. I'm stuck at 170 and can't seem to go lower. What you should be doing is aiming to build a lifestyle that accommodates it, where you're not really all that worried about it. Weight loss should just happen in the background as a side effect of living a life that you enjoy. At a certain point, it got to a point where it couldn't be me losing weight anymore. It had to be me living a life, and maybe weight loss would happen. But if you're looking at your progress at a microscopic scale all the time, progress doesn't look like progress while it's happening. And mind you, 4 weeks is not a lot of time. Let me put a caveat on that. This is something I talked about today. 4 weeks in my podcast, Mike Needs a Plan, available everywhere. 4 weeks is a lot of time in terms of not binging. It would have been a miracle at a certain point in my life to not binge for 4 weeks. But in terms of losing weight, 4 weeks is nothing. That's baby time. That is nothing at all. And if you're looking at this in terms of, I've been stuck at 170 pounds for a month, first off, congratulations on maintenance. A lot of people haven't gotten there yet. It took me a long time. I am most proud of the fact that I'm keeping my weight off. I'm not proud of my weight loss anymore. I'm not. I'm good at losing weight. Weight loss is easy. Weight loss happens by accident. You know what doesn't happen by accident for former fat guys? Maintenance. Staying exactly where you are. A lot of you are great at losing weight. Fantastic at it, even. Or it's something that you're good at. You could teach a class on it. I've got people who say, I could teach a class on weight loss. Why can't I? You're good at losing weight. You just can't keep it off. You're keeping it off right now. I hear all these things you're saying, Mike, but man, weight loss should be something that happens in the background. Is so much harder than it then said. Because you're not looking at it as it being in the background. You're looking at it as the centerpiece of your life. As the data point upon which all of your progress relies. Are you doing this to lose weight, or are you doing this to be a better, happier, healthier, faster, stronger, better Sarah? Or are you doing this for the 5 seconds every week that you step on the scale? Who is this for? My weight doesn't matter to me anymore. Now, a lot of you might say, well, it's easy for you to say because you lost all of it. My weight didn't matter to me before I lost all of it. It got to a point where I realized the weight will come off when it comes off, but I'm not going to be happy no matter what. I hit my goal weight 4 separate times. I lost weight a lot of times, but I hit my goal weight 4 separate times. If it was going to make me happy, it would have changed me. I wouldn't have had to go back to pick up the lessons that I left back along the way. Let's check over here on YouTube really quick. Cornelius the Fourth. Are you Neil? My buddy Neil? If you are, please let me know. Am I the cool kid now? Went from Insta to Twitch to YouTube. Oh, geez. All right, you're doing the speed run. You just got to hit TikTok where I don't get to see the comments. By the way, if you're seeing this on TikTok, come over to Twitch or YouTube. At Mike Needs a Plan on either one, because I'd love to talk to you. Okay, Mike, I'll make you proud. Writing that down, this advice right now. Awesome. Fantastic. If you guys are taking notes, please take some notes. If I'm saying anything that means something to you, let me know in the comments if I said something that sticks out to you, and I will elaborate on it. I would love, now that we've got this one-on-one here, that we can talk about it a little bit more. Sometimes people will just tell me about a video that they saw of mine that really meant something to them, and I get to tell like a 10-minute story about it. So if there's anything I've said or anything I've made or released or put out that means something to you, I would love to talk more about it. Sarah says, I'm doing it to not hate myself, but I know it's not going to change that. Well, currently you're doing it in spite of yourself. You're doing it to spite yourself right now. You're doing it to not hate yourself, but right now you hate yourself. It's the same thing like I said before. So in my podcast today, it was the number 3 thing that you don't want to hear about improving your life. And that is, and I've got the exact wording right here on this piece of paper. I only take 1 sheet of notes for every podcast I do, and it's one sentence per topic that I want to cover. Anything you want to be true later needs to be true now. I'm going to say that again. And Sarah, I want you to write this down. I want you to have this written down somewhere. Anything you want to be true later needs to be true now. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if you're expecting things to be different at the end of the journey and you're waiting for it to happen, it's not going to happen. The example that I used today was more so in terms of the people who say, well, I'm not going to have ice cream until I lose all the weight. But this could very easily be applied to the way that you feel about yourself. I'm not going to have ice cream until I've lost all the weight. Okay, so do you expect to be imbued with some sort of ironclad resistance to ice cream at the end of it where you're not going to binge upon it anymore? Or are you going to get there still being exactly the same as you were before? And still being exactly, or at least feeling as prone to ice cream as you think you are? Because what's going to happen is you're going to get there and you're not going to have practiced. It's like going to the gym, and I think I said this earlier in the stream today, it's like going to the gym and saying, I will pick up those dumbbells as soon as I'm stronger. What do you mean? Well, I got to pick them up. But I don't want to pick them up. I don't want to pick them up because if I pick them up, I might prove to myself that I'm not as good at this as I think I am. Oh my goodness, Scotty sent people over here. Hey everybody, in the bowl. Well, hey, hold up. Pay attention. Scotty, I'm not sure if you're here, but boy, am I glad to see a guy who actually deserves to be seen, getting seen. Because a lot of people are getting famous for all the wrong reasons, and Scotty's just a solid guy and a wonderful friend, and I'm so grateful to get to know him. So thank you guys for being here with me. Scotty is here. Oh my goodness, I feel blessed. Thank you for being here, bud. Thank you for doing everything that you do. By the way, I'm gonna air you out a little bit here, Scotty. Scotty's a little bit insecure about stuff sometimes. Scotty, yeah, that central dad figure in a lot of your lives. That gruff guy who's shaving in the mirror and talking about the way that he feels. If he could talk about the way that he feels, can't you? That empowered me. I made a career out of talking about the way that I feel. And I'm watching these videos from him like, holy shit, look at this guy. I'm just so proud of him. None of us are perfect. We're all growing. And we're all doing a wonderful job of doing it. No matter what your pace is, you are doing it. And you deserve to be doing it. I've got a video that I'm putting out tomorrow that you don't have to be happy with your body. It's not about turning a blind eye to your body and saying, well, I'm perfect from here down. That's delusional. A lot of us don't feel that way, and we're never going to feel that way. The difference going forward is not weight loss. Progress is not about weight loss. Progress and feeling worth is feeling like you're worth the effort that it takes to get to a place where you're a little bit happier. You're probably not going to be totally happy with your body. It's probably not going to happen. It hasn't for me. I'm still waiting on it. But what I do feel is a sense of self-worth that I didn't have before. And that's because this work is not in spite of the person I was, but in benefit of the person I am becoming. That's the major difference now. Hey, Carver's here. Fantastic. Such a wholesome guy. Follow this man. That's in order. Everybody, I would say follow Scotty, but I think everyone on the internet has finally followed him. Which is about as fantastic as it gets. By the way, for those of you who don't see the YouTube and the Twitch, Scotty K Fitness, I believe on Instagram and TikTok. Please go ahead and follow. And he's on Twitch already. He's crushing the Twitch game. He's been here like a couple of months. And he's just putting out magnificent content. I can't wait to meet him myself and get to hang out with him. I've talked to him plenty of times. We're in contact now, and I'm proud of him, and I'm glad to get to talk with him. That's the greatest thing I get to do here is talk to good people, for real. And I'm not just talking about people who are doing well on the social media space. I'm just talking about everybody. Like I've got a Discord full of 2,000 people right now who are on all different parts of their journey, whether they've been here for a day or they've been here trying to lose weight for 40 years. And I learned something from all of them. Hey, Kylie's here too. What's going on? I'm glad to see you. Scotty told me on the phone a week or so ago that there was like a behind the scenes of Scotty K Fitness, so I followed you over on Instagram. So I'm glad to see you here. You couldn't find me on Instagram, but you hear me just great here. Oh, I'm not sure why that is, but I'm glad that you're over there on YouTube, which is, again, where all the cool kids are. So let's see here. Listen to the podcast literally from today. Oh, yeah. So, by the way, some of you are going to hear some related things to the podcast I talked about today, which, by the way, Scotty, we should be talking about. We should be doing a podcast here. Have you done a podcast yet? Would I, if you, oh, okay, he's already gone. But I'm glad you were here. Thank you for blessing. I appreciate you being here, bud. Kylie, if you're still here, let Scotty know that he should come on my podcast. I'm not sure if he's done one yet, but I'd love to break him into the podcast. He should have a podcast. But anyway, oh my goodness, what's Smitty saying here? It could be your smile, your eyes, the way your muscle looks, something that reminds you of someone in your family that you love. You don't leave the mirror until you find something. Oh my goodness. Smitty, Jesus Christ, we've got a poet over here. For me, the habit was changing the narrative in the mirror. Instead of, I would try to find one single thing I could compliment myself on or something I liked. It could be anything. Oh, I've got a story on this one, Smitty. First off, fuck you, that was beautiful. Secondly, my girlfriend the other day challenged me. I challenged her first. I said that she had to say something that she liked about herself. She, similarly like me, lost 100 pounds. And she turned it on me. And I wasn't expecting that, because usually it's just me questioning other people and then them having revelations. And then, I'm doing my own work in the background. But, that really took me for a spin. And I was like, oh, geez. What do you mean, what do I like about myself? What, you get to ask me questions now? You kidding me? I wasn't ready for this. I need time to prepare. It doesn't matter that my job is talking, and my job has been talking, and I've been live streaming every day for a year. I don't know what to say. And I really had to think about it. And it was incredibly difficult for me. A man can't operate on himself, Mike. Oh, jeez. The only doctor that was powerful enough or smart enough to do the surgery was him. He was the only capable one able to do it. And he's passing away because he's not able to do it himself. Mike, if you need me to build you out some Twitch overlays, hit me up on Instagram. Oh my goodness, I absolutely. What are you on Insta? Are you following me on Instagram? Send me a DM, because you already know what the comments look like on a account with 6-digit followers. So if you get me at Mike Needs a Plan, I will follow you back. We got to connect, because I would love to get to know you too. Where can you find my podcast? You can find my podcast at Mike. Sorry, I got to rephrase this. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Spotify. I believe Pocket Casts, I've been told I'm on, and Audible. I believe I'm on Google Podcasts for those of you that live in a sewer. And that's called Mike Needs a Plan. That's actually where my username came from, because originally it was the podcast, and then I was going to have videos, but then the video started doing better, so I just leaned full into that. And then coaching happened, the one-on-one coaching, which my application's open if anyone's interested in working with me one-on-one. So all that took over, and the podcast kind of fell away. But now here I am, back doing the podcast every week. It's going to be on Wednesdays at variable times, because I record them right before I put them out. Just like Chris Terrell does, if you guys are familiar with Chris Terrell, who is my hero and good friend. So it's called Mike Needs a Plan. You can type that into Spotify, you type it into Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, you can get them there. And today I talked about things you don't want to hear about improving your life. Why don't we just go down the list really quick? What do we have? Okay, we've got 10 minutes left. I'll do it. Number 1 of the things you don't want to hear about improving your life. And I'm going to spare you of having to listen to the podcast, though I'd love for you to hear it. You know what? I'm going to only give you a little brief of each one. You don't like coffee. You like cream and sugar. I know that most of you don't want to hear that. You don't like coffee. You like cream and sugar. And I'm not blaming you. Cream and sugar are delicious. You don't need caffeine as much as you think you do. Samba Lamb is here. I can confirm I didn't want to hear any of them. Now, you didn't want to hear any of them, but did you get what I was intending for you to get from it? Did you hear something that challenged a belief that you didn't want to question, but you needed questioned? I've been having trouble with my weight, and feeling comfortable, but in the way where I'm trying to get a better relationship with food, and my goal is to actually gain weight. I'm in the same position right now. I'm trying to gain healthy weight right now too. It's been a major challenge because I'm having to override everything that I've ever believed about everything for a long, long time. Okay, I'm back. Had to go make sure I was following the podcast everywhere. You guys are so good, both of you. Jeez, why is this the first time that we're talking? You guys are just great. Like I was saying before, I'm not sure if you heard this, but I'm just so grateful that Scotty made it, because it's about damn time that someone that deserves to be seen is being seen. Because we've got so many people that don't need to be seen. And I'm not even saying like I deserve to be seen or anything. I'm just saying like, at least I appreciate the fact that everybody's here, and I want to do my best to keep people around. The anxious dreams wake me up enough. Yeah, you guys don't need caffeine, by the way. You're not just having less energy because you're an adult now. You're having less energy because you don't fucking hydrate. Bottoms up, everybody. If you haven't had enough water, which statistically most of you haven't, drink up. You want your energy back? Start replacing some of that caffeine with water. And also, if you like having something sweet and tasty in the morning, I'm not telling you to cut it out. I'm just telling you to find some lower calorie alternatives. There are some perfect one-to-one replacements for the stuff that you're having in your coffee every morning that will satisfy that same itch. I promise you right now. We don't even feel like we should be seen. That's why you deserve to be seen. Just like they always say, like, don't put someone in power that wants to be in power. Don't give somebody 500,000 followers that wants 500,000 followers. And I keep, I'm breaking through to Scotty a little bit here and there, because he will not give himself a break, and he also will not accept that he is loved and appreciated exactly as he is, because he sounds just exactly like me a year ago, which, number one, I already know he's going to be fine, but number two, I know he's being fucking hard on himself right now. And I know that he doesn't need to be. And I know he's being way harder on himself than he needs to. And I want to make sure that the fucker doesn't burn out, because we need him. We need him here. We need him so badly, Kylie. Make sure that he's being kind to himself. You've heard me say that plenty of times. That's my whole thing. Fairlife Core Power Vanilla Protein Shakes make for great coffee creamer. Yeah, that's a great one-to-one replacement right there. What is a one-to-one replacement? Protein Premier Caramel in coffee. Fantastic option right there. A one-to-one replacement is something that mimics the benefits of something that you had before with less of the negatives. So let's talk about cigarettes really quick, which has no perceived benefit at all. Even the people who are smoking them will tell you, I don't even like them. I don't like how they make me feel. I don't like how they taste. But you take it away from somebody. How many of you are smokers in here? What happens when those cigarettes get taken away from you? You can't find them. They're somewhere. I'm not telling you like somebody ripped them away from you, but say you just can't find them. You left them in your car. You're at work right now. What's going to happen? My substitute for creamer was to buy the tiny pods and limit myself to 2 a day instead of pouring them from the jug. Oh, yeah, portioning stuff out instead of taking it from the container. Major life hack right there. Not cigarettes, the coffee creamer. Oh, I just can't quit coffee creamer. I have to take 15 coffee creamer breaks at work every day. I leave and just chug a bottle of it. Still struggling with smoking. Indeed, I lose my marbles when my pack goes missing. Absolute panic if I don't have my cigarettes on me. Yeah, 5 months off of cigarettes. Congratulations, Shay. That's fantastic. Why is it that the things are bad for us feel so good in the moment and vice versa? Because it serves a purpose. And I'll tell you this, a lot of people that quit smoking, when they say that they're getting their nicotine fix, they're getting, say they have the gum or vaping or something like that, they're usually replacing it with an oral fixation. When they have the gum, I've heard a lot of people will start chewing on a pen, just like that. This doesn't have any nicotine in it, but there's still something in the repetition of my mouth is being occupied at the moment. There's some kind of cognitive calming. It's the same thing of giving a baby a sucker where you're just like, cool, they're not crying anymore. Cigarettes have no benefit, But when you remove them, there's a negative. So what is a one-to-one replacement for cigarettes? We've got the nicotine patches, we've got the nicotine gum, but a lot of people will turn to vapes or chewing on their pen or something like that. That is something that moves us further into the realm of I'm doing better in terms of, you know, the benefits, where I'm not getting the smoke anymore, my lungs aren't rotting anymore in my chest, and you know, you're going to start to feel healing. You're going to start to feel a little bit better. But if you were to just cut it cold turkey and you don't replace anything, no, you're not on a different stream. I've got 3 different streams I got to go back and forth between right now. Clean from 3.5 years was definitely hard. Worse than trying to stop soda. Oh, geez, right here. I used to drink 6 of these, and now this is 0 calorie, but I used to drink the full calorie version of this, 6 of them a night, like an alcoholic. That was a hard habit to quit. My one-to-one replacement on that was I just started drinking a ton of seltzer water. Every time I had a craving, now I didn't start drinking the 0 calorie stuff for a long time. I actually started this year. But to get off of soda, started drinking seltzer water. And anytime I had a craving, I'm going to take a sip. That's it. And eventually, a couple of months from then, I just realized, I'm like, I don't really want seltzer water, which I never had about soda, because it didn't have any of those addictive chemicals in it that kept me there for a long time. So suddenly I'm like, I don't need it. I don't need it. My reserve is 70 calories for my first cup of coffee, and then I switched to black coffee. Bones has good flavored coffees that have 0 calories. Yeah, also the 0 calorie stuff for coffee tastes exceedingly great. Kind of fantastic. My dad recommends sunflower seeds. He personally had sugar-free sweet mints because he loves... I love me a sweet treat. Yeah, I've got some sweet Tic Tacs in my car. I've always got like a little bit of something just to have like a thing to occupy me. Seltzer to regular water, yes. Yeah, and then seltzer to... And now I'm just like, I crave regular water. But it used to be that I was craving full sugar soda. I would be drinking like 900 calories of the shit every day. It was not serving me, but anytime I tried to stop, my brain was like, something belongs here. There's 6 cans of nothing happening right now. And I need something to fill that space, because it was serving some kind of psychological purpose where I'm like, I just like something occupying that space. And it's gone now. So what do I do to replace it? Nothing? No, I got to replace it with something. It served a purpose for something at some point. Emotional eating served a purpose for you at some point, for some reason. Does it have positive benefits? No, but for a few moments as you're eating, it feels really good. So you do it. No one's emotionally eating because it doesn't work. You're emotionally eating because it does. You're just dealing with the consequences. No one's smoking because it's benefiting them. They're smoking because it feels good for a moment until it kills you. You're not stupid. You're not dumb for dealing with these things. They serve a purpose. Just what purpose are they serving, and how could you better serve that purpose with a one-to-one replacement of something else? I'm not asking you to get rid of stuff. I'm not asking you to... but in this process, you can start to address the habits and why they're there. The whole idea that you can kill a habit in 21 days, I think, is bullshit. I think it is complete bullshit that you can kill a habit in 21 days. Why? Because we are addressing the very tip of the iceberg. We're not addressing anything else. We are taking a leaf off of a tree and saying, yeah, I just killed the tree. No, that leaf is coming back. That leaf is going to return. Why? Because the roots are still in the ground. Because a tree still lives there. Your habits are a tree, and when you try to kill them in 21 days by addressing, well, I've got soda, so I'm going to stop drinking it, you're just ripping a leaf off of the branch and saying, it's gone. It's out of there. I don't have to deal with it anymore. Of course you do. You just got to wait for it to come back. You're going to have to chop down the whole fucking tree if you want it gone. For a second, I thought my reverb was still up. I'm glad it wasn't. Because I was about to say, you guys have been very polite hearing me echo, 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 echo. For me, it was allowing myself to take a 5-minute break. Now I just go outside to step away for a minute. That's a great one right there. It's something that I work with my one-to-one clients on. Bad habits as a form of avoidance. Oh yeah, for sure. We're avoiding all sorts of. When it comes to emotional eating, we are avoiding the emotions. People say, "I've got to try. How do I stop emotional eating?" I'm like, you just answered your question. You got to. The emotion is asking to be heard. The emotion is asking. It's trying to tell you something. It's like, how we say that, like, there's this old wisdom that you should just let a baby cry it out when they're crying, and I just let them cry it out, they'll learn. They're trying to communicate a need, they're just really bad at it. And by ignoring those needs, they're going to start to learn my needs don't fucking matter. They might stop crying, but they still have the trouble. They just don't know how to communicate it. And then those kids grow up to be fucked up kids. And they need years of therapy to try to figure out what happened. And all the parent had to do was go and pick them up and deal with the problem that they made. They created that child. That child didn't want to be there crying. But somebody decided to fuck without a condom. And now that kid is crying and they're going to ignore it? No. Go deal with the child that you made. We don't allow children to just cry it out, and we don't allow our emotions to cry it out. You have to listen to them. They deserve to be heard. And until they are heard, you are going to hurt. That's it. I know it's scary. I know it's scary to listen to those inside thoughts. My needs never mattered. All that mattered was getting A's in school, going to college, getting a good job. See, exactly. You're the baby that was calling out for help. Nobody listened. And now where are we? It's not your fault, Sarah. It's not. Never has been. Now you do have a bit of a mess to clean up. You've got some stuff that we've got to clean up that no one else is going to help you clean up. But you're not to blame for that mess being there. It's not you. You've just got a messy coffee table right now, and you're holding a can, and you're like, well, I just want to put this down. You're not asking for a lot. Most of you are not asking for a lot. You're just holding a can right now, and you've got a big messy coffee table with a bunch of coasters all over it, and a bunch of papers and books and bags and just all sorts of clutter and trash and everything. And all you want to do is put this down. There are some people that say, well, just toss it all over the ground. No, that just puts the mess somewhere else. But also, you don't think that I can do this in a way where, I just move a couple of things just to put my drink down, so now I've got two hands. Because how much easier would it be just to have two hands? But it would suck to only move a couple of things off that coffee table, wouldn't it? So you don't do it because it's not enough. Wouldn't be enough for you to just move a couple of things, just enough to free yourself up to be able to do twice the work. All you have to do is give yourself this much, Sarah. Yeah, Smitty, I can see your clutter. No, it's not sad bitching. Hey, we don't apologize here. We don't apologize unless you've done something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong. Needless apologies. That was the episode I talked about last week, I think. I talked about you can't be doing needless apologies anymore. Things you can't be doing on a weight loss journey anymore. Let me see. You can't just remove things to cope without replacing them with something that serves the purpose, or you're going to be miserable. Yeah, absolutely. Way to go. Let's hear. My dad is. This is very soothing to listen to. I'm glad. It's usually the weight loss talk and the emotional talk kind of sucks, so I'm glad I'm able to reprogram that. My dad is brainwashed by all the fitness influencers who preach everything is bad and you need to have a pure diet of water and steak. Is there a way to change his mind or quiet him from bothering? Take his phone and just block all those fuckers. Literally, just take his phone. Just be, hey, Dad, I'm going to install a thing on your phone that lets you see all that, and just block everybody. Like, seriously, the capitalistic doctrine dictates that we create a problem and sell the solution. I don't believe in that. I'm not a capitalist. I never will be. Obviously, I need money just to survive in our bullshit system, so I need to find a way to do it. I'm trying to find a way to do it as ethically as possible. No, it's not devious. It's devious to die of a heart attack at 55 because you listen to some fucker tell you to eat steak fat to try to lower your insulin levels. That's devious. It's certainly not devious to take that away and maybe give them a chance at living a healthy life. You can't block channels. I can block channels on YouTube. Watch me. If I can do it, I'll block all of them. Or you just wait a couple of months. Because carnivore, like everything else, is a fad that's going to go in and out. All of the people who are able to be fooled will be fooled, and those who are willing to hear it out will exhaust their goodwill, and no one will listen to it anymore. And it'll get to a point where a couple of years from now, somebody will say the word carnivore, and you'll think, oh, wow, 2024, remember that? That exact thing. Steak fat does taste good. You know what else tastes good? Cake icing. Should I just eat that? No, I shouldn't. I can have it because it tastes good. But if that's all I'm eating, I'm not going to live that long. When you're feeling totally dysregulated, which is leading to you to want to binge so badly, what do you do to get to start? Let me rephrase. When you're feeling totally dysregulated, which is leading you to want to binge so badly, what do you do? Sorry, the comments keep pushing you away. What do you do to start getting rid of that feeling immediately? You can't get rid of it immediately. This is something we got to chip away at over a long period of time. Like, think of it, like I said, with the cluttered coffee table again, where it's not going to be a thing where we can just flip a switch and suddenly we're better. It takes a long time of addressing why is it that I'm feeling the need to binge right now. Think of it like you're trying to find your car keys right now. Most of us have a place that we put our car keys down. We come in, it's usually like, a coffee table or the kitchen table, or if you're a responsible adult, you're putting it on a key hook, something like that. But a lot of us just have a place for it to go. And then sometimes we go to that place to find our keys and it's not there anymore. And we go, oh shit. What am I going to do? It's not there anymore. This is a problem. I'm going to have to retrace my steps. I'm going to start from the beginning of where I am or where I was and get to where I am. And somewhere along that line, I'm going to figure out why it is that I don't have my keys right now. It's the same thing with binging. The next time it happens, you're going to have to use it as a teachable moment. Use it as a way to ask yourself, what am I feeling in this moment? You can just say right now it's emotional eating. Yeah, cool. What emotion? What triggers it specifically? What is a thing that happens? For me personally, it was frustration would happen, but I'm like, now I got to look for very specific sources of frustration. What are the specific sources of frustration that are causing me to want to binge? It would always be like when they say you get so angry you see red. For me, it wasn't I want to fight someone. It was I want to eat something. And it was almost to get back at myself or to get back at somebody else. Like, yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to eat an entire pizza right now. That was one of my triggers. It's something I had to look into to figure out this is why I'm binging so much. Oh, here we go with this is something. If you're on the feminine side of the equation here, I stopped cutting most red meats and limited sugar. It's made a major difference in my weight loss, although it's hard as a woman. Yeah, as a woman on the feminine side of the equation here, you are going to have periods of the month, literally periods of the month, where your progress is not showing on the scale or in the mirror, because you're just going to be retaining a little bit more mass. You're not going to feel too good just in general, and the way that you feel dictates what you see in the mirror. Our brains are affected by our observations are affected by the way we're feeling. So your progress is not going to look quite as linear as perhaps mine will. And mine's not even going to be linear. No one's progress is linear, but yours is especially less linear. So you have to be especially kind to yourself. Budget yourself in a few 100 extra calories. Your body needs them in a period of menstruation. So don't feel bad when you're hungrier because it's your body telling you, hey, we need something. Make it happen. You're fine. Don't worry about it. Go slow. Be kind to yourself. Also, I really love your videos. They've been an amazing break from my dad's ranting about steak and all that BS. It's like therapy. Well, here's the thing. If carnivore was a thing When I started my weight loss journey, I would have done it. I mean, I did keto a bunch of times. And, just somebody had to change it up and make it a little bit more intense so that they could sell it as a program. I get it. The carnivore marketing is just fear. It's if you don't do this, bad things are going to happen. Carnivore salespeople their whole sales pitch is everything else in the world has to be bad before my product is good. What product needs to take everything else down before it is viewed as a viable option? It's never about the benefits. Never, ever. Every once in a while, they might say, well, I've got a little bit more energy right now, which they don't. They absolutely don't. Their brains are starving for energy. Their muscles are completely devoid of glucose. They are suffering tremendously. But the whole sales pitch about carnivore is if you don't do it, you're going to die or your insulin's going to go up, whatever bullshit they're making up this week. And then, it gets disproven beyond a shadow of a doubt and they just got to move to a different thing they made up. Why does identifying the emotions matter? It's for the same reason that identifying tracing our steps to try to find our keys. It's the same thing. Where is it coming from? If you just say, well, it's emotional eating, got it. Most of you know you're emotional eaters. What does it matter if you don't know where it's coming from? Because if you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know how to solve it. You don't know where to find it. You got to find it. I don't think I'm getting all of my comments. Spoke to a carnivore guy before. It really just seems like he never grew out of his not eating veggies phase as a kid. Yeah, no, it really is like that. It's devastating, quite honestly. I don't know why my YouTube comments aren't coming through at the moment. I'm only getting Twitch comments right now. But I guess I am still streaming on YouTube, which is good. But anyway, I'm 15 minutes over. I'm supposed to be out of here by now. But hey, if you guys are not on the newsletter yet, I'm going to be sending some more exclusive offers. Not sales, but like ways to interact that I won't be posting to my Instagram. So you can more intimately interact with me. You can get that on mikesplan.com. If you want to listen to today's podcast in which I give you 6 things that you do not want to hear about improving your life that you definitely need to hear, because these things were all vital in me losing 110 pounds. Test comment for me. Thank you, Alicia. I'm not seeing it here on my multi-stream, so I guess it's for the best that I can see it on my screen. I can't see it on my monitor. So that's a problem because I want to see everybody's comments. Yeah, if you've not checked out the podcast yet, I would love for you to come and join me. I have a new episode out every Wednesday. You love the podcast. Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that tremendously. I don't really get to hear a lot of feedback because there's no comments over there. Unless you're on Spotify, I think you can leave a comment. You can definitely leave a review. So I don't hear as much feedback on the podcast as I do on my videos where I get 200 comments in a day. So I really appreciate it when somebody lets me know that something that I said was good. But hey, everybody, it's Mike Needs a Plan on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, Audible, wherever it is. You can find it there. Obviously, you can get me on Instagram. Obviously, you can get me on TikTok and Twitch and YouTube. I'm all over the place. No, we're not doing get the fuck out of here with your 4-banana challenge. We're not doing the 4-banana challenge. If you weren't here for yesterday's stream, I'm sorry you missed out on the 4-banana challenge. But anyhow, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, my application is up. I've got one more spot before I close here for the season. So if you'd like to work with me in a more intimate capacity where we are working one-on-one together in a way that you've never done weight loss before, come join me. And if you can't, or if you don't, or if you don't want to, I'm here to cheer you on. I would love to see you make progress on your own. It is not necessary to work with me. It is just an option for those who want it and need it. And lastly, the most important thing, join the Discord group. Please keep the podcast going and listen to each one 2 times. One just to listen and one to absorb and again to take notes. Well, I've got one every day. Not every day. Oh, Jesus Christ. Every Wednesday, I'll have one. Can we interview you? Do you charge a fee? I do not charge a fee. If anyone charges a fee to interview them, block them. Send me a DM on Instagram. We'll set it up. I'll send you my scheduling link. I'll talk to you. No problem. Yeah, join the Discord, please. There's 2,000 people just like you, and I think it's 2,100 now. We've had a huge spike in membership recently, and I'm thrilled about it as we approach our 1-year anniversary of the Discord. I'm just thrilled with how everything's going. My mom's here. Hey, everybody say hi to my mom right before I leave. And that'll be the last comment that I answer. I love you, Mom. Thank you for being here. And thank you all for making my journey spectacular. I hope that I've been able to do the same for you. Be kind to yourself. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Discord link is in my bio. You go to my Instagram bio and you click on contacts, my contacts and other links. There's 3 links there. You go, it says mikesplan.com and 2 more. You click on and 2 more, and there's one that says my homepage /contact. And under there, it'll say join the free weight loss Discord group. So go ahead and join there. I would love to have you, Siren in the Desert. I hope you are soon to be Siren in the Discord. I'll see you